Welcome to Not So Silent. We'll say what you can't. We think we're right, but I wouldn't bet on it. Today's show, it's October 7th. We got a lot. We got a big show coming to you. We have Donald Trump is fine. Oh, wow. That was fast. We were told over the weekend to prepare for life without him, but he seems to be fine. In fact, reporting no symptoms. In fact, plans on debating on the 15th. We got a lot of sports news. We're going to listen to Brett Favre and what he has to say. The Bill O'Brien era is over. We got a new segment, Gambler's Corner, some serious or satire, a little bit of Prognostication Station, and our top five musical rock artists of all time in the wake of the sad news about Eddie Van Halen. So please, before we get started, make sure that you connect with us on all of our different platforms. If you're on Twitter and you want to communicate with us, go to @NotSoSilentPod, @NotSoSilentPod. On Facebook, go to facebook.com/NotSoSilentPod. And of course, if you're on YouTube, click the little button and subscribe. Spotify or Apple, make sure that you follow us. And lastly, go to our website, notsosilent.com. And at the bottom of it, put in your email, and I promise we will spam the crap out of you. But it is free. So we started this show because we're sick and tired of the uncommon sense that's out there and the fear that so many have speaking their minds. And if you guys feel the same way, please join us either at Twitter or Facebook or through our website. All right, so let's get started. I'm joined today with Chris and Sean. Chris in St. Louis, Sean in Kansas City. I'm Taylor Duncan, your host. So we got a lot to talk about. Let's start with Trump. So on Friday, all of a sudden, the world was in a tizzy. We were all, the sky was falling. Trump got COVID. People were coming out with all sorts of different statements from the left, from the right, you name it. He didn't wear a mask. He's stupid. Everything else. Oh my gosh, he's going to die. And before the weekend was even over with, pretty much, he was already back to work in the Walter Reed. And now he is back home in the White House working and saying he's ready to debate on October 15th. What's your takeaway from all of this madness? I know it's crazy because we think about, the 24-hour news cycle, but now that you've had a weekend to digest all of this, he goes in on Friday. By Monday, he's home. Holy crap. What are your thoughts? Sean?
Man, after the debate, I kind of checked out a little bit from politics and just waiting for the next debate. And I'm going through a little phase right now where I'm trying not to care. And I was watching the other night, turned on Saturday Night Live. I was like, there's going to be a funny debate segment on here. And it was so political. And then Chris Rock's monologue was all political and all serious and not very funny. And then I turned on some sports and it was political. And then I just turned off the TV. So I'm not the right person to ask because I've been trying to not pay attention. I'm sure the next debate will get me to pay attention, but I haven't followed enough.
I mean, isn't that crazy though, Sean? I did not watch Saturday Night Live and haven't since like 1994. But even Saturday Night Live, and it's not even back in the old days where they used to just have lighthearted comedy about the president or the vice president, making fun of Dan Quayle when I was a kid and, stupid things he would say or whatever. It has become this, it's not even funny. It's like political statement after political statement. What sporting event did you turn on that you needed to turn off? Was it the NBA Finals?
It was.
Oh my gosh. So you were one of the 9 people who watched?
Yeah. Well, I picked the Lakers 4-1. And then when the Heat had this rash of injuries, I thought the Heat are probably not going to win a game. So they got one. And I think I'm going to be right. I think the Lakers are going to win 4-1.
All right. So Chris, what did you think? What do you think about Trump all of a sudden? And now granted, he was given better medical care than most people, but he's fine. He's like back to work. It is like, this had to have helped him. No?
It appears that he's had a slight bump in the polls from that. I mean, really, my takeaway is just how obnoxious what feels like the state-run media is doing. It doesn't matter what happens. They are so anti-Trump. They cannot extend any kind of an olive branch. Oh, no, he's coming back to work too soon, and that's dangerous, and you could have a secondary infection, and he's infecting the Secret Service, and it's so tiresome.
Okay. So I'm glad you brought that up because that's going to bring me to my main point of today. That's really what I wanted today's show to be about. was, when are we going to get back the media? When are we going to get back the media and have some level of nonpartisanship? Is journalism just completely dead? Is there even a single news source that you truly trust? Because it just is unbelievable. Like you said, how partisan, primarily liberal leaning it is. And I'm gonna, what really kind of ticked me off, and it was one of the few tweets I've put out there as we just launched this, was in response to the Washington Post, which had deleted this tweet, but sent out a tweet, and I quote, opinion, "Imagine what it'll be like to never have to think about Trump again." The Washington Post, the New York Times is incredibly left-leaning. You have, so then I looked it up, and I wanted to find what are our 10 or 20 most watched either websites, TV news, whatever it was. And so the first thing that pops up as I Google searched, it was 10 journalism brands where you find real facts, right? So I go on to read it, and it was a little bit surprising because, and this is out of Forbes, and sure enough, the 10 that you could watch, number one, New York Times, and then Wall Street Journal, then Washington Post, which again, just tweeted that they wanted to see what it was like with the president dead. The BBC, The Economist, The New Yorker, and even Politico made this, which blew my mind because Politico's like again, it might as well be owned by the DNC. And so then I started to think, wait, who wrote this in Forbes? So I pull up this guy who wrote it. It's Paul Glader, who happens to be a professor. So I look him up on Twitter because he is a professor at the King's College, and he did work at the Wall Street Journal, which is, I'm sure, why that was listed. But I start looking at his tweets, and everything he has is anti-Trump, anti-Trump, anti-Trump.
Well, it's just so fake. NBC was just caught using people in what was supposed to be a town hall of independence, claiming that based on what they were hearing, they've now converted to being Biden supporters. They had used those same two people in a previous segment, 3-4 weeks ago, that were self-proclaimed Biden supporters from the get-go. And so it's so fake. Now, will it change? At first I thought if Biden wins, well, no, it's going to reinforce that it worked. And if Trump wins, they're probably going to double down on the hate even more and just fight everything tooth and nail. I mean, it's such a broken system. Take the stimulus bill they're trying to get through, right? Trump tweeted out, "Hey, look, I'll sign it today. If we do a stimulus package that just has money that goes to families, done." But the problem is the Democrats are trying to pad in all these bailouts, all their states that have bankrupted themselves, and they're trying to make Republicans look bad. So it's not like we're not trying to work with them, but my God, it's like we cannot work together. It's like you have to secure the House, the Senate, the presidency to get anything done because nobody meets halfway anymore. And I don't know when the American people will get so sick of it that something will change. I don't know if you can ever get rid of this two-party system. It feels like it's so entrenched, it's not going to change. I don't think it's going to get better when Trump's out. In fact, I think if Trump loses, he's going to go on a media circuit, a media tour. He'll have a regular position at Fox, like just blasting people every day, which gives me some comfort because we need somebody who's not afraid to just absolutely blast the media. When we get somebody like a Marco Rubio or a Ted Cruz in or something like that going for president, they'll be more put together, but they're not going to have that you suck, media. You suck.
Here, and just to show you, I think people are getting sick of it, and this made me feel like at least our existence here at Not So Silent is doing some good. A quarter of U.S. adults, 26% of U.S. adults say they get their news from YouTube, and 72% of those people, so almost 3/4 of them, say that they use that news in an important way, not just purely entertainment, but in an important way. And 13% of them said the most important way is through YouTube. And on that, to that point, it's not necessarily that they're just going to news organizations. Only 49% were actually news outlets on YouTube. 42% were independent people like Not So Silent, or maybe it is coming from Joe Rogan and so on, which there's good and there's bad that comes from it. Like we said on the last podcast, I think that's why the long form podcast is starting to make sense. We're still working on, we want to bring in an intelligent liberal to have a good, strong debate with us about politics and so on, because again, I don't think you get it from the media. I don't think you get it from news source. NBC, ABC, CBS, the New York Times, the Washington Post, that the institution of journalism, in my mind, is dead. It's no longer journalism. It's just party affiliated writers.
I have a question for you, because it feels like just about every election is the most important election. It's a referendum on the country. And I think we've abused that rhetoric so much that A, I don't know if this really is the most important election or not, because I feel like it's said all the time. And B, if it is, I'm so desensitized to people saying that I don't know if anybody actually really believes that or realizes that. We just happen to feel that way because we're in that age group that tends to care more about this and be more aware about it now. But I don't know. Is this really the most important election we've had in a long time, or is that just something everybody says every time?
I believe it is. I do. Unfortunately, here's the problem is, unfortunately, it feels like Bernie Sanders has taken over this election. And that's the frustrating thing, because 6 months ago, I had said, I really hope it comes down to Biden and Trump, because I guess I'll live either way and it won't be that big of a deal. This was back when it was Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris and, just Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, Joe Biden at least is going to be your typical politician who doesn't get anything done, shaking hands and kissing babies or whatever, or smelling girls' hair. So I thought, well, this guy, whatever, he'll just be your typical career politician. These others are the crazy left. But now he's embracing the crazy left. And that is where I'm becoming terrified of what's going to happen because of their platform, which to the point of, and again, this is where I say bipartisan journalism is dead. Why did no one from the left and the left media call out Joe Biden for blatantly lying that there is no manifesto? There is a manifesto, and he said it at the debate that there was no manifesto. He is lying through his teeth. I have it pulled up. There is the Biden-Sanders Unity Task Force, which is the PDF. It's 110 pages, and it is on Joe Biden's website. And it goes through everything. So that was just a blatant lie. It is labeled the Biden-Sanders Unity Task Force.
Yeah. Well, speaking of things that aren't lies, I got a question for a resident Catholic. Sean, I don't know if you saw this Biden ad directed at Catholics like yourself, but he did call himself the clear moral choice for Catholics. Are you turning?
I don't think that's going to do the trick. I mean, Catholics are also kind of famous for not being all that Catholic.
This is the guy who was denied communion, right? Okay, so we've got a VP debate tonight. Are you guys watching it?
Yes, and we're going to talk about that in the Prognostication Station as well. But yes, I am watching it.
All right, so you want me to ditch that for later, because I want to talk about it now.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Well, first of all, do you think it'll have a bigger impact than the last debate in terms of polling for Trump, like a better impact, a worse impact, or no change? What are your thoughts on what you're going to see tonight?
Sean?
I think it's going to be interesting to see if Pence tries to beat Trump. I think he will. And I don't know that anyone can beat Trump the way that Trump is Trump. So I think that might hurt him if he tries too hard to beat Trump. I think his best move is to just stay quiet and give short, succinct answers and let Kamala do most of the talking, but we'll see how it goes down.
I'm interested to see what the ratings look like, as I was in the last one. And we talked about this in the last debate, where I think the ratings, although, is well written that they were down, some of the things that weren't talked about was no one turned it off, and how Fox News had been the number one rated station, whereas 4 years ago it was NBC. Some of that can be last time Lester Holt working at NBC was the host, and this time it was Chris Wallace, who's a Fox News person. But I'll be really interested. My guess is Fox News is going to dominate the ratings again. I don't know if people will tune in or tune out on this one. I am watching it. Again, a lot of this comes down to, and this is where the experts, the real experts, not the media pundits, the real experts I need to understand, is it true that there are not any independent voters? People know what they're voting for already, and it's really just a matter of, can you get enough of your people out to vote? I voted today in the first round of early voting. And if we would like to talk at all about voting, I can bring up what that was like, what it was like to go vote, because I think that's it's going to be a topic. that is going to be discussed. And I know Trump has brought up the whole mail-in balloting, but I can tell you what I saw from going to the actual polls.
Is it boring or exciting?
I think it's interesting to say the least.
Sounds boring.
I'm going to scratch that. We can always edit it out. You can.
Well, let's just start with this. The polling place already had a massive glitch in their technology. So I went to October 7th. There's only a couple of places in Illinois that started early voting. Most is on October 19th. So we had to wait for about 2 hours, and we were explaining the reason why the wait was so long was every single person who went up to vote, they had to call in and get like the number that the person puts into the machine to have us poll, because they still had us listed as October 19th at this polling facility. And they said, quote unquote, it was a technical glitch on their end. And I'm just thinking like, my gosh, this wasn't that hard. You guys have had this place listed as October 7th for a month now, and you guys didn't have the right date put into your, technology platform. It was ridiculous. It was, and then the mail-in balloting, all these people brought their mail-in ballots where you put them into like the thing and the lady had to check them. People were getting so pissed because they were bringing them in for like their grandfather, but they were supposed to have signed off differently if you had someone else bring it in. I mean, this thing's going to be a mess.
Well, I'm telling you, we know for sure is Sean and I were right. That was incredibly boring. Okay, so I've got a question for you guys.
Well, don't you think that the debate is going to be dominated more by Democrat listeners, viewers? I think you said Fox is going to outdo him in the ratings, but I feel like most Fox followers are going, well, Pence is not really leading the charge here. Like he's not. What? Most people know he doesn't really have a lot of input. However, on the left,
he's a good defender of Trump's policies. Kamala is an awful debater. The only thing she really did that was worthwhile in her previous debates is she would say something that was an outright lie, imply that she had evidence on it, and it would come out later that she had no evidence to back up her claim, which could be a danger because she may throw out something like, well, unfortunately, Mike Pence hates all gay people or something, and throw out that kind of crap again, which we know is not true. But the media won't check her on that, right? I'm interested to see the content. An early prognostication would be, do you think the viewership is more or less than the first debate?
It'll definitely less. Definitely less. The VP debates is always far less. And in fact, in 2016, Pence versus Tim Kaine had lower TV ratings than any VP debate since 2000. But yet the Hillary Trump was the most rated ever. So it'll be less than the last one.
Well, the interesting thing to look for is where do her and Joe deviate from each other's platforms, and where does she try to correct back to the more socialist side of the base of the Democratic Party, and differ from him, because we know Pence is going to be lockstep with Trump.
Dude, Kamala Harris has not taken a single press conference since she was nominated as VP. Not one. She's gone up and spoken, but will not take questions. I think she's going to be rusty, and she's already not a very strong debater, and I think Trump will be quiet enough to let her dig herself into a hole. So I think Trump is going to come away with this as a win. The Democrats are setting this up as a win no matter what for Kamala, calling it such a challenge to be the first black woman nominated to a platform and all that garbage. All right, question for you guys. Trump is clearly getting murdered in the polls right now. It doesn't feel like he should be, but he is, and it's too big of a lead to ignore. That being said, if you could concede the election to Biden right now, but ensure that Republicans hold the Senate, would you be willing to make that deal?
Oh,
yeah,
I think I would. In fact, that's my biggest fear. And Ben Shapiro talked about this. If Ben Shapiro's a smart guy. So if anyone who's listening to this doesn't listen to him, don't stop listening to us, but definitely start listening to him. Ben Shapiro was explaining the history of essentially the U.S. government, how we were built to be a government of stalemate, to protect the people from the government. So that they couldn't get a lot done. And so, yeah, I guess there's a big part of me that says, I want either way that we do it. I'm actually okay with Trump getting in and having a Democratic Senate, because I don't want a lot to change. I think things are good. I guess that's wrong. I would like a Republican Senate, but I'd be okay with, but my biggest fear is a Biden, which is really a Harris presidency with a Democratic House and Senate is that is going to spell a really, really ugly couple of years. And I think it'll be a quick turn in the midterm elections back. But my fear is what they will do with that power. Again, that's the biggest fear I have. It's not a small change in taxation. No, who cares? Like, that's going to be a short-lived experience. The big deal is, are they going to make changes to the filibuster? Are they going to make changes and pack the courts, which they're refusing to talk about? And are they going to add states like Puerto Rico and DC to basically pack the Senate and change our democracy forever? Not just change, taxes or a little bit more PPP money or a little bit less or whatever, a little bit of funding towards some blue states. Those are things that won't, crush us. But the other stuff that will crush us, and that scares me. And again, the part I'm most scared about is the news media, which is such a significant institution, is being run by the left wing. I mean, it is. It's not close. It's not like this is even up for debate. I think everyone would agree that probably somewhere in the range of 75% or more of the media is leaning left or heavy left. And that's concerning to me, because where are people going to start consuming their media? And it changes minds. On top of it, the educational system that is so left-leaning and progressive. So they start to pollute your minds when you're a kid, and then they keep driving that narrative home through the media. And it takes an intentional watch out for what you're being taught at school, or watch out what you're reading online and stuff, to not get caught up in it. So I have significant concerns with that. So would I take it? Yes, I would. There's the long-winded answer to your question, Chris.
All right. That's all I got on this topic.
Okay. So anything else around the political arena that we want to talk about, or journalism being dead?
We beat that horse to death, I think.
All right. So let's talk sports. COVID. Chris, COVID.
Take it off. I'm going to sign off until you guys are done with this topic.
Here's the thing, guys. This is real fast. I don't know if anybody's looked or bothered to look at excess mortality data lately, but I got good news for you. I got real good news for you, Chris. This doesn't take into account whether or not somebody had COVID when they died and they died because of something else. This is looking at excess mortality. And so we did have a peak. I mean, the pandemic's real. We had a 45% increase in April 12th, and we have been above excess mortality rates in the U.S. until the most recent data, which is about a month old. It takes about a month to get the data compiled. So as of September 6th, about a month ago, we hit negative 4% on the excess mortality data for the previous 5 years. So regardless of the number of COVID deaths, we are experiencing less death in the U.S. than we have the last 5 years for the first time since the pandemic started. So great news. Hopefully it continues on that trend.
Yeah, I think, that doesn't surprise me. And it's time to get back to normal. Time to get the kids in school and get moving here. So, but Stephon Gilmore, last year's Defensive Player of the Year, he has it. He's got COVID. And another Titan tested positive, which I think is the bigger news, is the Titans tested positive. And now it is being reported that the Titans broke protocol after their facilities were shut down. They broke protocol, and some of the Titans got together for some private workouts, and now a new Titan has tested positive. What do you think is going to happen to the Titans in their season?
Nothing.
Probably nothing. I mean, the NFL's talked about penalizing draft picks and fines to organizations that cause these kind of issues. I mean, it is an issue. Like, you want them to be able to play. I'm kind of curious what that Cam Newton was up to. How's he the only guy? I get it if a team has an outbreak, but how are you the only guy on the team?
Well, he's not. Stephon Gilmore has it now.
Ooh.
So Cam Newton and Stephon Gilmore are the New England Patriots. So now they've got two reported players with it. The Titans had obviously a much larger outbreak. So I'm intrigued to see how the NFL is going to handle this. It was a little bit different in Major League Baseball because you can throw in double headers and things like that. For football, the nice thing they have is they do have the bye weeks and so on. And I just don't think this will be the last time this happens. I'm still waiting. I am still waiting for one of these athletes to come out and have, not in a good way, but no one has had a significant illness that I've heard of. any college or professional athlete. In fact, the professional coaches haven't. We just lost Chris. Chris is done. Chris is done.
Let me know when you're done.
Well, okay. So let's talk NFL, but something more interesting, more fun. How is it? It's being really underreported about the fact that there's 7 playoff teams in each conference this year. I keep forgetting that.
Is there really?
See, there we go. There are 7 playoff teams in each conference this season for the first time.
I'm back.
I did not realize that. But here's my thing.
There's
right
only
now,
1 bye per conference now.
Oh, that does change things, because that 2 seed was a pretty big deal for the New England Patriots for quite some time. You know, that you know, the 1 and 2 seed was such a big deal for them. It's a big reason why I think their bad division that they were in is what really saved them for so many years. Like, you look at it, you go, was it Tom Brady? Was it Bill Belichick? Or was it how bad the AFC East was that created that dynasty? I think it's a combination of the 3. But now with 7 teams and only 1 team getting a bye, that 1 seed is a very, very important position to have. And is there anyone? I mean, think about it this way: in the AFC, and you
get the 2 seed. Can you pick to play the division winner of the NFC East instead of the wild card?
Oh, no kidding. The NFC East, that's a dumpster fire.
That's pretty much a bye week.
What a terrible conference. I mean, the Eagles are leading the division with exactly 1 win. I mean, it's pretty remarkable, and just a horrible team. Like 2/3 of their team is injured. And Carson Wentz, I'm sure, will be injured soon. So who is going to take the Chiefs out in the AFC? Is there any team that you think even has a shot?
The Ravens have a shot.
I mean, I guess, but it would take their best game. I think they play 10 times. I think the Chiefs win 9 out of 10. What about in the NFC? The odds-on favorite has to be the Packers. They look next to unstoppable. And I hate saying that. Oh, do I hate saying that?
Man, they do look good. They look so good.
Now the Falcons are not a good team, but they definitely made it look easy this past week.
And some really outstanding defensive performances. Jair Alexander shut Calvin Ridley down.
Right.
0 catches.
How do you mute Sean? All right, we're done talking. I gave the Packers enough positivity there.
Oh, they look so good.
So, but I do think something to watch, Chris, don't hang up here, but something to watch is how the COVID is handled in the NFL. And what this happens this week. I'm intrigued to see will the Titans be able to play this coming weekend. It's important to me as I'm moving to Nashville, and I would like to go see a game in person this year, and they better get their season back on track. I say they just stop testing. That's my feeling. I don't think people agree with that. All right. So Chris, we're going to move into our new segment, Gambler's Corner. So Chris is the degenerate gambler of the group. So he wants us all we're going to bet each week. So Chris, take it away. Gambler's Corner.
Okay. Thursday night game. We've got Tampa Bay at the Chicago Bears. Bears are getting 5.5. Who you got?
Tampa.
Tampa.
I'm taking the Bears. You loser, Duncan. Gosh.
So here, let's explain the rules. So Chris is going to each week pick 4 to 5 games, typically in the Thursday night, 1 for the noon game.
I will be betting on every single game myself, and I'll be betting on the parlay as well. And I will be using fictitious dollars because Taylor and Sean don't have a human ball sack combined between the 2 of them. So
or
money. You know,
or money.
This is a good point. Okay. Sunday noon game. We've got Eagles at Steelers. Steelers are laying 7.5.
Eagles.
Steelers.
I'm taking the Eagles. Okay. Sunday afternoon game, 3:05. Dolphins at 49ers. 49ers are laying 8.5.
Dolphins.
Are they going to go with Tua? Is Tua ready to go?
They already named Fitzpatrick the starter, but they may make a change. We'll see. That's a Dolphins sweep. I'm picking the Dolphins as well. Okay, and then I've got the Monday night game. No Sunday night game this week. We've got Saints and Chargers. Saints are at home, laying 7.5.
Chargers.
Saints.
Home field advantage is just not the same for the Saints without that crowd noise.
I'm taking the Saints.
I'm taking the Saints.
Okay, we've got some outside of the box bets. Surprise, surprise. And this is courtesy of DraftKings. Which candidate in the VP debate will tell the first lie?
Oh, see, now you got to hang on. Now we're going to move into Prognostication Station.
Oh, okay.
Now you jumped ahead. So let's move to Prognostication Station. We'll do it before Serious or Satire, because I did want to get into the VP debate. My question was going to be, prognosticate what the biggest story coming out of the debate will be. If you remember, I think the biggest story that made the liberal biased media was Trump is a racist, but that's not, that's how they claim it all the time. But that was the biggest news story coming out of the first debate. What do you think will be today's VP debate biggest story? I know mine. Mine is, will Kamala Harris answer the question, are you going to pack the courts?
That's not an option, but she most certainly will not answer that question, nor will she get pressed on it.
I think the whole topic's going to be about Trump's coronavirus. That's all they'll talk about.
And I'll bet you that Mike Pence moves hard into packing the courts and Kamala Harris.
All right, so can we prognosticate now?
Yes.
Well, I haven't been able to figure out who's going to talk first. I'm trying to find the debate format so I can make my bet.
Yeah, but who will tell the first lie?
Yeah, I think that's Sean's joke, is whoever opens their mouth first.
So Pence, you've got to pay $250 to win 100. Kamala, you've got to pay 100 to win 170. So it's leaning heavily in favor of Pence saying the first lie.
See, but that is going to become such a subjective, like, they need to make that, because you know how they do it, where there's like, it's a lie, but it was a subjective.
I'm surprised the betting website has this one, because that feels like they're leaving themselves way open to, speculation of what constitutes a lie.
Yeah.
It's like if Biden were up there and said, I'm Jill Biden, it's like, lie? No, he's just, not smart, right? Okay, let's try a different one. Which candidate will say the word masks more?
Oh, Kamala? Definitely Harris.
No, I'm going to say that Pence says it much more.
Pence is plus 170, so you're going to get more for your money if you go Pence. Kamala is minus 250 on that. Okay. Will either candidate stand up during the debate? So I didn't know they were going to be sitting down, but apparently they are. And will either candidate stand up? Now listen to the odds here. You have to bet $2,000 to win 100 that they will not stand up. You have to bet 100 to win 700 if they do stand up, if one of them stands up.
Wait, you bet $100 and you win 700 if they stand up.
If one of them stands up during the debate.
So is this one of those scenarios where the casino just said, we're going to make money on this? We don't really care if it happens or not.
It's such a wide gap, too. Plus 700 to minus 2,000. Like, what the heck?
I guess I didn't realize they'd be sitting down. I can't even imagine doing a debate and not being able to stand up.
So an interesting one. So going with our odds to win the election, Trump is at plus 145, Biden's at minus 175, obviously in favor of Biden. Not as much as I would think, given the way the polls are. Or you could bet $100 on Michelle Obama being the president and win 15,000.
I'm still putting my money on Trump. I still think this is going to become, again, we'll talk about this probably next week when more information comes out, but no one is talking about the declassification of all the Russian collusion documents.
That'll be interesting. Timing is well played. So we'll see. Well, those are all my prognostications. Do you have any more?
No, that's it. It was really all about today's debate. And then we did the Gambler's Corner. So we're not going to do prognostication on the sports. So let's move into our serious or satire. Serious or satire. I have a couple. I know Chris has a bunch. So Why don't we? Do you want to go back and forth, or do you want to just do all yours and then I'll do mine?
I can do all mine. You do all yours. So trending on Twitter is the name Antifa. And it's because liberals are making fun of anti-Antifas, people on the rise that are kind of going after essentially Antifa. And they're kind of like, there's a bit of a fight over this name because when you try to say it fast, like anti-Antifa, like, so they're calling them Antifas now.
Serious.
Serious.
That's satire.
Oh.
Okay, the number one trending meme is an ant who is against Vietnamese soup, and they call him Antifa.
Satire.
It's satire. Okay, is this a real piece of election merchandise or not? Biden and Trump pooping figurines.
It's serious.
Serious.
A Trump gator statue that says "Make America Gate Again."
Satire.
Gate.
Gate, like Gait?
Like gator, gate, make America gate again. So like an alligator Trump statue.
It's serious?
It's serious. Candles that smell like Trump or Biden.
Serious. Does one of them smell like a man in a like almost hospice care facility?
These are great. Yeah. Let's prognosticate on that. So the Trump one apparently smells like suntan lotion and steak.
I was just gonna say suntan lotion for sure.
And Biden smells like orange Gatorade. Favorite drink of 10 to 14-year-olds. Okay, next one. Impeach flavored vodka, which is a peach flavored vodka.
Serious.
A suction cup for your lips that makes your lips pout like Trump.
Serious.
Satire.
Oh.
There's a deck of Trump-themed cards that are all spades, which if you ever play the game Spades, they're all Trump cards.
Serious.
Satire. And my favorite, it's not a serious or satire, but there's a window sticker you can get that's like kind of that see-through mesh, but it makes it look like Trump is sitting in the back of your car, like riding in the back of your car. It's awesome. Okay, got a couple more. In Britain, they had to remove 5 parrots from the zoo because people taught them to curse.
Serious.
It is serious. The most common swear was fat twat. And apparently when you keep them in the same area, they keep teaching each other these things and they respond to people's laughter. So they only continue to curse more. So yeah, like a lot of people find them funny and want them staying out, but they don't know what to do. They're so far removing the birds right now. Okay, a window washer was fired in Maryland for wearing a Biden mask and one of those aprons with a fake penis beneath it while he worked.
Satire.
That's satire.
Yeah, I'm doing good today.
And we had a Louisiana man arrested for swimming in a Bass Pro fish tank.
No, that is serious.
Serious.
That's super serious. Okay, what you got, Taylor?
All right. The NBA is now requiring all players to stand for the Chinese national anthem.
Satire. Gosh.
Satire.
I mean, it's not that we're not that far away
Not
from
that
it.
far off, but gosh.
All right. Jane Fonda says coronavirus is, quote, God's gift to the left.
I'm going to go serious.
How sad is that?
That's super sad. God.
Serious. Brett Favre on Trump, quote, I think he's done a good job for our country.
Role model.
Serious.
Serious. Please be serious.
That's serious.
God, I'd take you as my quarterback in a heartbeat.
I know. I like him so much better than Aaron Rodgers. All right. Florida man.
Is that because he let you win once in a while, by the way?
Yeah, right. Florida man.
Okay. I'm waiting for it.
Serious.
Allegedly request mail-in ballot for dead wife.
Serious.
You never come up with satire, so I'm gonna go satire just because I'm going contrarian. I think you came up with your first satire.
My first satire was the NBA is making him stand for the Chinese anthem.
I have a memory like a Biden. Sorry.
That was serious.
Dang.
All right. Domino's investigating after pizza delivery driver caught rubbing ice cream container on crotch.
They sell ice cream? That should be its own topic, honestly.
Serious.
I'm going to say satire. They don't sell ice cream, do they?
I threw you in a lot of loops in that one. That is serious.
Son of a gun. I got to be getting ice cream with my pizza, man.
I was pretty shocked when I saw it, and I was laughing.
You order Domino's, you're already saying screw to the diet. It's like, what else can I do to destroy myself? The diet's ruined for today. So yeah, give me the ice cream too, even though it's It's like Domino's chicken wings. It's like a wet piece of rubber on a bone. Like,
all right. And last but not least, Florida woman.
Yes.
Serious.
But this is not necessarily about her. Florida woman forced to forfeit lotto prize after USPS loses ticket.
Serious.
That is serious. And you telling me she doesn't think there's a potential that the mail-in balloting is not going to go well?
In other news, somebody got mailed a winning lottery ticket and is claiming the prize.
I'm just saying. All right. So that does it for our segments. Let's get to the top five. Well, I guess that's a segment too. Let's get to our top five. And for those of you who did not see, sadly, Eddie Van Halen has passed away from his battle with cancer. So in his honor, we are going to do our top five rock stars of all time. So not bands, individual rock stars of all time. So this is in honor of Eddie Van Halen. And we will go Sean, Taylor, Chris, and we will do a snake draft. Sean.
Let's play Guess the Band with this too here. So Michael Diamond, also known as Mike D from
Beastie Boys. Beastie Boys.
Oh,
Beastie
I forgot
Boys.
the Phillips. Like that was close to the Saved by the Bell guy. Screech.
No. Screech was Dustin Diamond.
Dustin Diamond. That's basically close enough. Gosh.
Yeah.
I would debate Biden. He'd kill me. I begin to Screech.
All right. My number five. Didn't love his music, but you want to talk about a rock star? I mean, the guy made a film that made him very famous with a lovely lady, Pamela Anderson, Tommy Lee.
Okay. This might throw you for a loop. The name David Howell Evans, also known as The Edge, for U2, guitarist.
All right.
Not bad. All right. I didn't even think about you two.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, I get another one.
Yep.
Dave Grohl. That's an easy one.
Yeah,
Dave Grohl, did you say?
Dave Grohl, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Dave Grohl, not bad. All right. My number four, James Hetfield.
All right.
Great pick.
I mean, come on. The guy took on Napster, and he was kind of a douche when he did it because we were in college when Napster was actually a cool way to get free music.
No, but Hetfield, hands down. Yeah, easy pick.
All right. For those of you who don't know, he was the lead singer for Metallica.
Is.
They
still do nursing home gigs. Yeah.
Number four, I got the lead singer of, you got to guess the band, Brad Delp.
I don't know.
Boston. More Than a Feeling.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big Boston fan.
Top five?
Yeah.
Yep.
The guy's got a hell of a falsetto, that's for sure. You know.
My number three is also a recently deceased rock star. Does that give it away?
No, Devin, most of them died.
Tom Petty.
Oh,
died. Yeah.
Tom Petty. Good pick. And now that we're going through them, I'm realizing how many honorable mentions that would be popping up in my head. And I'm actually like really bummed out. I missed some really Tom Petty. That's a great one.
Yep.
All right. So my number three, and someone from this band has to get on everyone's list. I went with lead singer Robert Plant, Led Zeppelin.
Yep. Gosh. I mean, yeah, you have to. Yeah. Which my next picks are James Hetfield and Jimmy Page. So, like,
no, are you really?
Yeah.
All right. Wow.
Yeah.
So
we're back to you for number one. Where are we at now?
No, we're at my number two.
Okay, you're number two. Yeah.
So my number two, and gosh, I really wanted him to go number 1, but I couldn't do it. My number 2, Axl Rose.
Okay, I mean,
Come on,
I mean, big time in our youth. I get that. I get that.
He does
I would
Sweet
have taken
Child.
Slash.
Yeah,
I would take Slash. My number 2 is Flea.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Right on,
His memoir just came out. Pretty good book.
Don't care about that, but okay, good pick. Yeah.
We at my number 1.
Yeah, right. You're number 1.
All right, my number 1 is an Eddie. Not Eddie Van Halen, Eddie Vedder.
Oh, Eddie Vedder, and I debated him. He was going to make
a great honorable mention. I don't know if I like him as a number 1.
Pearl Jam's my jam.
Yeah, Pearl Jam was my favorite in the grunge era, and that was like right when I was hitting 6th, 7th, 8th grade. So
Strawberry's my jam.
All right, my number 1. And I know this, most people will think it's controversial, but my favorite band, and Trent Reznor.
All right.
Okay. You guys missed a real clear number 1 here. That's Jimi Hendrix.
I thought about him, but that's not my number 1.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely in the top 5 all time. My top 5.
Like, man, this guy pioneered some of the stuff on the guitar. Like, come on.
It's not my number 1.
Should be.
I mean, Chris, I'm always right when we do all of these lists, especially when it comes to movies and TV shows.
Yeah. Well, there those are. Are there any honorable mentions we missed? We missed anyone from The Who. I mean, The Who's a great band. Nobody named any Rolling Stones. Thank God we didn't mention a Beatle. Wouldn't call that rock. Who else did we miss?
Yeah, I mean, I thought of the major bands.
Kurt Cobain. Nobody said Kurt Cobain. Yeah. I guess we didn't want to be too in with the in crowd. That's like saying iPhone. It's just like being kind of followerish.
Well, no, but I had thought about that whole grunge era. I did miss Alice in Chains was like my favorite band when I was growing up. Lane Staley passed away. Rest in peace.
What about Neil Peart, drummer for Rush?
Yeah, we forgot Peart. We didn't actually have anyone from Van Halen or Eddie Van Halen on the list.
Well, we're sort of defaulting him to like number 1. He's in sort of his own category because he died, so that's right. Exempts him from the list. Like, yeah. Unlike,
got it.
Yeah.
And then I mean the obvious.
He cast his vote for Biden already, though. So
was Fred Durst. I mean, you gotta have Fred Durst.
Oh gosh, yes.
Or yeah, you know what? We definitely missed Nickelback.
Oh, and Creed.
I think we have a new top 5.
Well, wide open.
Top 5 worst rock bands.
Every single song sounded the exact same from both of those bands.
I kind of like Tom DeLonge from Blink-182 and Angels and Airwaves. I think Taylor hates that guy.
Not a fan.
I like him quite a bit. Yeah,
not a fan.
I am also a Billy Corgan fan too.
Oh, Smashing Pumpkins.
I do like the haircut. I gotta,
You kind of look like him.
A creepy girl on bass. It just sort of, I don't know. She kind of like when I was young, sort of did something to me. Like I sort of wanted to like. Let's not go there.
And we all forgot Alanis Morissette. So on that, I wonder which way Alanis Morissette's going to vote. All right. Oh, did I get muted? All right. No. All right. So I thought you guys were muted.
Unfortunately, you're still on.
All right, on that. So make sure you guys share with us on either Twitter or Facebook your top 5 favorite rock stars of all time, and communicate with us. Share the podcast with all of your friends on all the different social media platforms, and check us out on this coming Monday. All right, goodbye.
I'm your host, Broken Condom, with my co-host, Taylor Duncan, also known as Lambskin.
All right, we got our Easter egg.
Welcome to the Joe Rogan Experience. Do that one.
Welcome to the Joe Rogan Experience.
I wonder, can that get us in trouble?